Welcome to Magic Hour. I'm your host, Paul Chappell, and we are reviewing Wonder Woman 1984. And guys, let me just get through this review because I got some better things to do, like clean my toilet and, clip my toenails, important things to do because this movie sucked. Oh, it sucked so bad. Yes, the rumors are true. I'm sure there's a lot of people that loved it, but boy, one of the things I learned that is actually better because we have to watch these movies at home is that I can pause and reflect on how bad something is. It took me 3 sittings to watch this movie. I just kept falling asleep, and it really exposed how bad of an actor Gal Gadot is. I mean, she's nice to look at, don't get me wrong, but she is a terrible, boring actor. She's basically a mannequin that can recite words. She's that bad. This movie was 2.5 hours long. No comic book movie, save for Avengers movie, no comic book movie should be this freaking long. And I hope that they learn from this experience. I heard that the movie's executives wanted Patty Jenkins to cut down the movie. They told her she should cut out one of the first scenes. And the scenes they wanted to cut out was the one with the Amazons, and then there was another one, the mall. The mall kind of works for the story, but yes, that scene with the Amazons at the beginning that I actually did a video on like last week, she should have cut that because it really added nothing to the story. Basically, Diana learns a little lesson about lying, and that was it. And I was like, really? So, yeah, the movie was bad. So I pretty much have negative points to make about this movie. Nothing good came of my viewing of this movie. So let's get into the plot. Basically, if you have seen the Aladdin, you've seen this movie already. This movie was Aladdin too, except at the end when Jafar makes himself a genie thinking that he's going to be the most powerful being in the world. In this movie, he doesn't actually go to that little lamp prison. He actually uses his powers, his newfound powers, to manipulate people because the thing is, in this movie, okay, instead of a lamp that you rub and get wishes, you only get one wish. And the thing that gives you the wish is something called a dream stone. It was made by some mischief god, kind of like Loki. It sounded like Loki to me. Of course, this is Greek mythology, not Norse mythology. But some mischief god made this stone that will give you wishes, but it was also take things away from you at the same time to get your wish. So the movie villain, Max Lord, played by Pedro Pascal, he figures out that, hey, if I use my only wish to make myself the stone itself, I can give people wishes and manipulate them. So that's basically the plot. Like I said, it's Jafar without the little lamp prison. Okay. And here's my third point about how bad this film is. If you've seen any of the trailers, let's say you've seen all the trailers, you've pretty much seen this film already. Everything good about the movie was in the trailers, especially the action scenes. All those great action scenes, the one in the White House, the one on the road in the desert. That's basically the 2 good action scenes in the movie. And they're not really even that good. There was a couple of shots in the action scenes that looked kind of badass. But overall, they just had no cohesion. They had no flow. It was, in fact, the directing was all over the place. This movie had no flow, had no rhythm to it. It was just a bunch of scenes thrown together that didn't really make sense. Remember those hilarious scenes where Steve Trevor comes back and he's trying to adjust to 80s life and was kind of funny? Yes. Everything you saw in the trailer was pretty much the only thing that was funny about this film. They put it all in the trailer. And speaking of Steve Trevor, it was really apparent why they brought him back, but it was also apparent to me that pretty much the movie executives made him appear in this movie because there was really no logical reason for him to be in this movie, save for the fact that watching Gal Gadot for 2.5 hours would have made me kill myself. Because, like I said, she has no personality. He brought all the personality, and when he finally leaves the movie, he takes it with him. So, on one hand, I didn't agree with him being in the movie, but on the other hand, you desperately needed him to be in this movie. And speaking of people who shouldn't have been in this movie, Kristen Wiig was terrible as Cheetah. Her CGI, yes, you probably heard, her CGI was horrible. They did that same thing they did to Jamie Foxx in the Spider-Man movie where he's this big nerd at the beginning of the movie, where she's this big nerd who gets her wish to become just like Diana, and then she turns into this big cheetah. The weird thing about it, she's supposed to transform into this sexy woman after she gets her wish, but she looks exactly the same except she's not wearing glasses. I just thought that was horrible. I could go on and on about this movie. I'll mention a couple more things and then I'll just leave it at that. Steve Trevor learns how to fly a jet plane within seconds. Now remember, the last time we saw him was in World War I, which ended in 1918, which is, 66 years before this movie takes place. So not only would he not know how a jet plane flies, but he probably never even heard of a jet plane, and yet he's flying it within seconds. And also, yes, we got our invisible jet plane because Wonder Woman makes it invisible somehow. I don't even know how to explain that, but she makes it invisible while they're flying to avoid radar. It's just something that she just does, because that's one of her powers, I guess. Also, speaking of powers that she has in this movie, she learns how to fly with her lasso, except at a certain point, she stops using the lasso and she can just fly like Superman for some reason. Yes, you heard me right. She can fly without the lasso at a certain point, and it makes no freaking sense. I've heard that it's a power that she has in the comic books. I don't know that much about Wonder Woman, so I'll just leave it to the comic book nerds to explain that to you. But I just thought it was hokey, and in a movie that was full of hokiness, it was just, I can't even begin to tell you how disappointed I am with everything they decide to do this round. And let me just end this review by saying it is currently at 65% on Rotten Tomatoes. So apparently a lot of people feel the same way about it. If you do not have HBO Max, I would save your money right now. Go see Soul. I did Soul like a couple days ago, a review for that movie. It's so much better than this piece of trash movie in every way. So yes, that's what I am recommending right now. If I had to give this movie a rating, it would have to be a -0. Yes, it is that bad. Avoid at all costs. I just can't believe that I waited over a year to see this movie, and I thought it was going to be a badass movie. Now, the first movie was not, it didn't overwhelm me with greatness, but it was pretty good. The third act was terrible, but overall, it was a pretty good first entry. But this movie just, it's so disappointing that we had to wait for this, and they released it on Christmas Day. I'm so happy I didn't watch it on Christmas Day. Because I would have been sorely disappointed. But yeah, that's about it. This is a dog of a movie, I'm sorry to say. But yeah, that's all I got for today. I'd like to thank my subscribers and encourage you. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're already a subscriber, ring that bell so you know when my next video drops. Give me a like, dislike, whatever, and comment down below. Let me know what you think of my review. And then until next time, I will see you when I see you. Thanks for watching.